Dear breathers, due to a technical error, parts of today's episode of The Air We Breathe may not have the sound quality you've come to expect. Please forgive the fact that some of the discussion may seem to take place on a car phone from 1991. Enjoy.
Hi guys, this is Tracy.
And Lauren.
And this is The Air We Breathe. Okay.
Do you want me to say it with you?
I want you to not mouth it. I want you to pick more of a distinct choice. Because I'm like looking at, I'm like, oh, she's starting to talk too. Okay, I'm going to try to like go along with her. And I'm like, she's not, but so then I start talking. I'm like, oh, no sound is coming. We breathe. Like, what?
We tried to be succinct and it just succinct.
Oh, that was so good. I hate you for that. Okay, well, so what it would have sounded like is, hi, this is Tracy.
And Lauren.
And this is
The Air We Breathe. Okay, lies, tell me, sweet little. Who lied to you, Tracy? Pop culture? TMZ? Disney?
My dad. But I'm supposed to, but this is,
this
is not what our podcast is about. You're asking me about the pop culture.
I mean, we could definitely talk about how daddy didn't love you, but let's get into
check
pop
out
culture.
Our TikTok for details.
Exactly.
I will put it in the show notes.
Good.
Okay. So like what you mean lied to me? Like
when you were a baby, you would watch cartoons, TV shows, movies, whatever.
Check. Yes.
Correct. What did you watch that you feel later in life that's like, you fucking lied to me? Life never turned out that way. Like, I was mad at 16. I didn't get special powers like Sabrina the Teen Witch. Now you.
Oh. So I wasn't quite as delusional. No, actually, maybe I was. Okay, no, wait. After I saw The Craft, I was like, I think I'm a witch. I think it's in me. I was best friends with twins.
Lisa and Laura.
Hi, girls. I was like, wow, this would be so great to have a sibling. Well, they're like throwing remotes at each other. But I think that's the thing is like they're really good at conflict. Like how, you know what I mean?
They've had to deal with conflict resolution their entire fucking life. They're coming out of the womb, bro. They're like, who's coming first? I don't know. I want to go first. And then somebody just won that fight.
Oh my God. Twins really do. This should be studied. Because you're literally fighting for space from the
get, bro.
You're like, stop getting my tube wrapped around your tube.
Right.
Like if you
they were in cell meiosis and they were like, I want to break away first. No, the cell is just going to do what the cell's going to do. But they were fighting for that.
I wonder if it's like a constant battle to be like, who broke up with who when the cell split?
Who slammed the door?
Yeah, like no, it was my idea.
Yeah, who stormed out of the cell?
The poor other one's like, it was mutual. You're like, no,
I don't know.
No, that first one was like, I could do bad all by myself.
That was amazing.
Okay. So what were we talking about? Popular culture and what it did to lie to me. So I did think I was, and the reason I brought up the twins, like cousin or something was over. And I guess she was younger. And I guess I like freaked her out. And she like went home and was like, they had a witch over. And I remember like doing something like, look, I'm going to put this candle in the fridge and I'm going to close the fridge. And when I open it, the candle will still be lit from my magic. And then when it was, she was like, and I was like, and it wasn't even like I had come up with it ahead of time. I was just like talking shit. Like I'm like, it seemed like this girl had no idea she was a witch. So I'm just going to see what comes out of my mouth. I was just going to be authentic for a hot 5 seconds and see if any magic came out of me. It turns out later on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's called ADHD and it's magic. And trauma responses. But anyway, I digress. So I definitely was looking for the magic to explain what the fuck about myself.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did not feel normal. So I'm like, I'm just a teenage witch.
Or if you're hyper focused on clouds and you're like, can I make the clouds come towards me faster? Can I make the wind blow with my mind?
Yeah.
No, you can't, bitch. You just have really good fucking timing and you're observant as fuck.
Right. But back then you're like, this must mean
it's a superpower.
Where is the Hogwarts letter and why have I not received it?
And I have not gotten an owl. I have not gotten a cat. Where are my special powers when I wake up at 16 and I come out of my canopy bed and glitter comes out of my fingertips?
I love that you're like, operating under the assumption that those are the same universe. So it's like the kids in Britain start at 11, but the kids in the US start at 16, and like Sabrina's just like she could be in the
Hogwarts universe.
Yeah. I like that.
What house would she be in?
Sabrina, Ravenclaw.
Really?
Yeah. She seemed kind of uptight. Well, maybe Gryffindor.
No, I say Gryffindor all day.
But not not an MVP.
Another thing that I feel like pop culture would have lied to me about is driving.
Why?
It seemed like in some of these, like we had watched this movie when we were young. I believe it was Twins.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito now has this brother he didn't know he had in Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, and he figured it out
he figured it out. He's like, here, he got the fucking driving manual out of the glove compartment and then learned how to drive within a half an hour.
Okay, so it's so interesting. I love that I totally agree with you. And then you gave me the one example that I'm like, well, technically, because he was supposed to be a genius. That was like the whole thing.
Yes.
So in that case, when that egg split, it was not mutual.
Yes.
But I do think in general that is so true. Like, I remember thinking that with Speed. Like, how does she just know how is she just driving this bus?
This bus, right.
And I will say, I think as I got older, it did demystify a little bit. Like I drove a 16-passenger van for a summer job in California for a while. Like
I would have pissed myself immediately.
So they basically just send other like 20. We were all like 20. We were college students, and they sent us out. They're like, okay, Johnny, go teach her how to drive the passenger van. And this was a van that was so heavy that you had to ride the brake. Because the minute you took your foot off the gas, it would roll. And California is a very hilly area. So I don't know what the cross street is. I have friends that actually live
already
in
getting
LA.
boo-boo tummy from this story.
Yeah,
it was anxiety.
Listen, baptism by fire. So all I know is one of the cross streets was La Cienega. I don't know what the other cross street was. I also really liked the show Proud Family. Deep cut. But so I'm on something in La Cienega, and then they're like, okay, the light changed. And so I take my foot off the brake, and as I go to put it on the pedal, we are straight rolling back. And these two motherfuckers are just like, fine. Because obviously this one guy was like, had been there for years. He was like so he was like, I knew you'd have it. But I was like, he's like, okay, put your foot on the brake too. So I had to brake, put my foot on the pedal. Like there was no clutch. It was an automatic, but still. But I had to do it. What was I going to do? Be like, send me home?
But like, if you're kind of freaking out a little bit and you're operating this vehicle and then other people whose lives are in your hands are like, no, she's got it.
I think
you must have a false sense of security about my driving skills.
Maybe. Well, but here's the thing. I proved him right because we didn't die.
Yes.
So it's like,
that is a life lesson that I feel like, yes, you've learned, and that has made you a better driver. I do understand that. But the amount of Imodium that I would have needed after that moment.
Oh, I didn't like it. I would always, yeah. So, but my point is, I think like when an adult, like when Sandra Bullock in Speed figured out how to drive the bus, that I think as an adult, I'm like, okay, I could probably do that. But it would be more like when it was like a 10-year-old kid is like, oh no, my mom's in labor, and then they have to like jump into the car.
Throw Jimmy in the fucking driver's seat.
Now that does not, even as an adult, I'm like, absolutely not. This child's never driven before, and now
there's no way we're going off a cliff.
Yeah, like that. That I was like, no way.
There were a lot of movies where kids would drive cars,
and not great. But sometimes really
they would get to where they were going and no one would be dead.
Yeah, like
and no speeding tickets. There was no scared of cops.
Well, nobody caught them.
No,
because everybody was sleeping on the job, eating donuts.
Whatever. And I'll be driving home one day and I'm like, oh, I just crossed the line by accident because I was switching the song. I'm gonna get a DUI. Like that's what goes through my head when I'm driving into this.
You are probably driving home from work stone cold sober, and you're like somehow
stone cold. Yes,
somehow. The
popos are going to get me.
The popos are going to get you.
Yes.
You know another movie that didn't like lie to us as much as I thought was lying to us, but kind of wasn't, and I wish I had listened. I wish our parents had listened. But What was also super weird was that was the movie FernGully, where they're talking about the like destruction of the rainforest. Like my point of bringing up FernGully is because I would love to talk about FernGully consistently in more episodes. Movie. Like hexes. And do you remember how flippin' sexual that little like that bad
Nexus was like a fucking.
It was like Hexus. I think Nexus was grandma's shampoo.
Got it. Sorry, my bad. I always thought it was like. Yeah. I think it's because he was dirty.
It was Tim
because he was oily. It was dirty.
Maybe it was the line "special kind of horny." I feel good, a special kind of horny. In his song,
right? I'm horny for toxic.
Why
shit.
are we horny? What? Oh shit. Damn.
So FernGully lied to us that,
FernGully shaped your worldview, Hexus. Oh my God. You're like.
Or maybe they tried, sex is dirty. And I'm toxic.
I don't know.
And I'm horny to
but he was like,
forest.
But he had, to quote the children, he had Riz.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was just an aside, but God, what a muscle memory that is. And then when he turns into an actual skeleton. Woo! But. That is one that I had kind of told myself was a lie. Right? Like as a kid, you're like, well, it's fairies and stuff. Like nobody's actually doing all of this. I think initially that movie like freaked me out on like a very like gifted kid. I'm very afraid of the world ending, like everything's going to hell way. That parentified kids have. But then I think I quickly was like, that is never going to happen. So I feel like in the way it ended up lying to me was like, that's such an exaggeration. And now I'm like, oh no, Hexus everywhere, Hexus, toxic way.
Like that would have hit harder for adults watching it with their kids, where the kids are like, that's just.
But I don't even think our parents realized truly what a fucking mess they were getting us into.
Oh, 1,000%.
Which the cut and paste that line for like 95% of the things about our upbringing. Yeah, but anyway, so I think FernGully tried to tell us and we did not listen.
But that definitely shaped my vision or my perception of humans suck. Animals and fairies are awesome.
Yeah, sure.
And dirty is kind of sexy.
The one where Lauren falls in love with toxic waste. Like how low can she sink? Literal toxic waste.
I've got stories.
Hexus. I mean, listen, that voice is smooth as silk.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chocolate rain.
Did you have a low-key crush on the tramp from Lady and the Tramp?
Yes.
Called it.
Dude.
Called.
All right. So I've got a couple things I want to run by you.
Oh, you've prepared. You've prepared. You've got notes. Oh, I love this for us.
I am giving you some examples of how pop culture may have lied to us and how we perceive it today, right?
Okay. All right, got it.
So
I'm hot taking it.
You're hot taking it. I'm rapid fire. Not rapid.
No, rapid.
Nothing about me is rapid.
Please, I listen. Ugh.
High heels and their comfort.
Oh, let's talk about it. Thank you, listeners. Is that where you got these listeners?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The peoples.
You're like, you crowdsourced, baby.
I did.
Oh,
get me.
Nothing makes me feel more loved than someone trying to collect data on my behalf. I wish that was a joke. I wish that didn't. That
should be a 6th love language.
That could be a t-shirt. Shout us out if you'd wear a t-shirt that says nothing. Like my love language is when someone collects data for me.
I mean, these are definite merch ideas.
Merch. Okay. My love language is when someone tries to monetize my brain.
Oh shit.
I'm a brain sex worker.
Brain sex worker. Thinking in your direction. Anybody who knows Apollonia 6 will love that reference, just so you know.
You're going to get haunted by the ghost of Prince.
I love that you know that was from that movie. We've just connected in a whole different level. That was my love language. The fact that you knew that.
I'm going to cleanse myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
I am beaming right now.
Aww.
That you said Prince, you knew what it was from. Okay, go ahead.
I did it, guys.
High heels, comfort. No?
They're not. They're not. What
they're
the
fucking
fuck?
Not.
I mean, people... Didn't that chick from Indiana Jones wear heels like a good part of some of that movie? Like
almost the entire fucking film.
I genuinely did assume like Easy Spirit or whatever. Weren't those ones that were like that there were ones that existed that just felt the same.
Yeah, fashionable, felt like a gym shoe but looked like a high heel.
Look like
lies.
Yes, feels like a gym shoe, looks like a pump.
Yes.
Can I understand what pumps are? Here's a confession. I'm 42 years old. I am today years old when I'm hoping you can explain to me
No, I don't know what a pump is.
What makes them a pump?
Maybe because the heel looks like a water pump.
Or it's like
Like
when
you
it's
can
like
grab onto the
it would
heel.
be a ballet flat, but it has a heel, so it's a pump. Someone help us. Someone find us
Can
on
we have a comment somewhere, please?
some of what is a pump? What makes it a pump?
I need the reference and the original reason.
Because I have never called a pair of my shoes a pump. But in my mind, adult women wore pumps. That's what they wore, pumps.
Maybe that was generational, like in the 80s. It was a big thing in the 80s.
But I've still heard people, well, I don't know. We're going to find out, but not from ourselves.
Old people now.
I know, we're refusing to Google it, so somebody please help us. What's a pump? The only pump I know starts with a Vander. Okay.
I've been sitting on that joke.
So, yes, I thought that you were going to be able to do anything in heels. And now as a mom, I remember when my daughter was younger and she would watch oh God, Welcome to My New Boutique. I'm like triggering parents out there everywhere. Minnie's Boutique or whatever. And her and Daisy, no matter what the like outfit was, they were like problem solvers. That was the whole vibe, which that part I liked. Although why weren't any of the men problems? Okay, let's not even go there. Mickey's out there just in his clubhouse. Wow.
Wearing gym shoes. That motherfucker.
Word.
Keds. You can walk around and be famous as a dude wearing Keds. If you wanted to be famous as a female, even as a doll or a cartoon bitch, you're wearing heels. You were in pain as a doll.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they would be like, oh no, Clarabelle's cows are missing. Let's go on safari to find them. And then they're in full safari gear. But are they wearing shorts? Absolutely not. They're wearing skirts.
Yes.
Why are you even wearing a skirt, Daisy? Your whole ass is out.
Fucking Troop Beverly Hills, bitch.
Except instead of hiking boots, they are in like
fucking heels. Like not
pumps.
Pumps.
Like just brown pumps.
Or lace up fucking high heel Timberlands.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
nobody's hiking in that.
I would every single time be like, don't wear high heels for this. Like what? Like,
but
come on.
Now here's where I'm going to disagree with you. And this is me being a non-mother. Let her cook. I would be like, put them on, girl. You gonna find out today.
No. I did not say, girl, don't wear heels. Mm-hmm. I meant if you're going on a safari.
Fair. Don't let her cook in a safari.
Like I would never tell her, like, I might, as I'm buying her, like, her graduation heels, spend the entire time talking about how they are a trap of the patriarchy and they're made to, like, slow you down and whatever. Like, I might spew my nonsense all over the purchase, but I'll also be like, but these are badass shoes and you're going to look beautiful. And, like, let's practice walking in them.
Yes.
So it's like she can find out on her own, but I want her to have all the information.
Let her make the executive decision on her own from both sides.
And I'm not going to, like, yuck her yum. No. I think I've established this, like, mom's on her BS again. Like, it's cool.
Here we go.
Like,
the man.
Right.
But no, 100%. And I've carried that whole trope of heels and them being sexy and all that through my entire life. I kind of swallowed and gritted the pain.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No.
But I liked the way it made me feel. It made me feel more than how my feet felt.
It's a Pavlovian response.
Oh, 100%.
When I feel that pain in the ball of my feet, it's going to hit different.
Mm-hmm.
And depending also on like I'm going to a wedding, like, ooh, it's hitting, like the adrenaline's, it's pain that's causing you adrenaline. It's like putting you in a response.
Yes. It's like tattoos.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that could be another thing that lied the fuck. Tattoos, they don't hurt.
Who told you? What were you watching that you have all these, like, you know who lied to me? Mary Poppins. Bags aren't that big. You know who lied to me? Unicorns' horns aren't magic. Well, yeah, not that unicorns were not real. It was just like, when I fuck with unicorn horns these days, there's no magic.
No.
And she's doubling down.
No, I get what you're saying. No, but like the heel, we're going to go back to the heel.
Yeah, I want you to.
Now,
nobody, wait, what were you saying was a lie then?
But with what? The tattoos or the heel?
Yeah, who was telling you tattoos? No one was telling you that tattoos weren't gonna hurt.
Nobody was telling me, but like my dad had tattoos. I thought they were really cool and I've always wanted one and I do have them now.
Yeah, but
But when I was younger, I was just like, it'll be easy. Just walk in and they'll draw on your skin.
that part,
Yes.
I don't think anybody told us they weren't gonna hurt, but I did think you'd just sit down and be like, I want to represent it, which maybe they could they did back then. They didn't have the technology.
Correct.
So it was just like, hey, Cletus, go ahead. I would like my mother's face on an anchor, and you got what you asked for.
You got it. Does it look like your mother?
No, it looks like she melted onto that anchor.
I mean, if you stretch out the skin and
they're like, oh, is that a memorial tattoo? No, she's still alive. Well, not according to this picture.
it
False.
looks like she got burned alive.
That's one of those like 1880s pictures where they take pictures of the dead. Like that's the picture you used for that portrait. But anyway, heels go.
Heels go. Now, if we're gonna go back into the Disney world, Cinderella started that shit.
You know what? I blame Dorothy. Dorothy also.
Yeah.
Follow the yellow brick road, but do it in heels.
Do it in shiny, pretty heels that everybody wants. Yeah.
This guy doesn't even need to bring a brain to the table, and you have to be dressed H2T.
Yeah, and you have to put that oil in your basket and hold it to remember to tell the dude when he stops walking and talking, you have to help make him walk and talk with the oil that you have to put in your purse because he ain't got no fucking pockets.
Girl.
Let's go.
Okay, should we... Glinda is so like Karen coded, like so low-key. And I get like if you've seen Wicked and stuff, like this isn't, I'm not opening up a whole new thought pattern, like people have talked about this, but she's like a complicit white woman, right? She could have just clicked those heels and said, I want to go home. And that's how the movie could have ended. And she could have left all this foolishness to these fools.
Correct.
Because you just weaponized me to kill one of your enemies, and now made her sister watch while you took her shoes and
low-key called her ugly.
Yeah.
I'm a good witch.
Only bad witches.
Only bad witches are ugly. So why did you ask me if I was a good witch or a bad witch?
Yeah.
Did you low-key call me ugly?
Yeah.
See,
and then she sees this green, which, okay, I'm not talking about our Elphaba. I'm talking about the portrayal in the original. This monstrosity comes down screaming at you, and you're like, damn, you can't tell which one of you I look more like?
You confuse
cool.
You confuse me? Cool. Yeah. Like, okay.
And then now she's going to gaslight you to be like, hey, while you're on your way, if you could pick up some of these strays.
It's not out of your way completely. You might take a nap in the middle.
Yeah.
It's a pretty field, though. But you got to get to this Emerald City, and you got to take care of this business for me real quick.
And, like, I am very aware that you might get magically assaulted by this other witch, but like you're like what, 15? You're good, right?
We'll give you a makeover. It'll be fine. We'll curl your hair.
Yeah. Witness protection program. Not actually. Damn, poor Dorothy.
One other thing I think was a huge lie is the amount of drugs that were not pushed on us. After school specials. Why were not more drugs pushed on us? Like, I feel like in these after school specials or these movies, I would always expect there to be a drug dealer on every corner of every school, and how I have to like bob and weave the fucking drug dealers.
Yeah.
Like the after school specials, like from what I believed is there should have been a seedy drug dealer.
Yes.
On every block.
Yeah.
Every corner.
Yes.
Of every school in Chicago.
Well, but yeah, no matter the neighborhood.
There might have been in some areas,
but it wasn't. Go.
It wasn't such a sell. It wasn't like I need to get all the children and give them all the drugs that I have in my jacket.
Right. These people were not out here like, my sole purpose in life is to just have a drug-addled generation. You know who's doing that? The Big Pharma. Oh. So like you were trying to you're like, look over there. No.
Don't buy it from that guy in the corner. Buy it from us.
Yeah, the call's coming from inside the fucking government. But so, because on the one hand, being from Chicago, we know like, yeah, like there's the fact that drug dealers exist was very real to us our whole lives, like growing up. But it wasn't like some like the Hamburglers out here trying to get us all addicted to fries. Like, the goal was that somebody's trying to make money and they look at people as resources and they're going to just use them. It was like somebody who had never been anywhere that ever had a drug dealer was the only person consulted in terms of like, how should we portray this? They're like, well, here's what I imagine it to be like on those mean
They didn't have a
streets.
consultant on set.
Yeah, they were like, hey, does anybody have any street smarts here? No? Cool. Okay. Well, I asked my maid and she actually grew up in Wilmette, but she knew someone and they said,
She took the bus home.
yeah,
So
I
she must have
figured.
seen some shit.
Yeah, there's drug dealers on every bus. Sounds great, Timmy, write it in.
Yeah.
And then it was like the after school special, a special episode of Blossom where she gets solicited to buy drugs on the bus. Be careful, kids.
Adventures in babysitting. Don't take the fucking train at night because what was the Union Station? Was
Yeah.
scary at
But
night.
Union Station, I kind of feel like that was a more accurate portrayal.
Yeah. Yes, less hot dogs, but yes, more accurate, and it was scary. And you could see that it was scary. I mean, you go down the blue line by Jackson when it was underneath. It was smelled like. I mean, there's people. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It smelled like pee.
Like
There
some
was a plethora of homeless beings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I think they filmed in Chicago.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, this is what it's like. They did, I know, people listening might be saying they didn't know Chicago that well because there's a bunch of parts where they'll say like, I'm here on the corner of like Western and Lawrence, and they're
Yeah.
like, there's skyscrapers, and you're like, no,
you're not.
It's not that bad, but I can't.
Like, I know that corner, and there used to be a white hen on that corner, so fuck off.
She used to work at that White Hen.
Shut up.
So
You know nothing.
she was a pantry member. So yes, I think it was just like such a like whitewashed portrayal
1,000%.
of like, this is what it's gonna be like. And whatever, if it was an after school special, like it was, your problems were like an episode of Full House. It was, you went through a trauma, but it was solved and healed within the hour.
And I will say, as a tangent, but come with me, I would see those shows in my home, and I would be like, oh, okay, so don't go on the train at night. Don't get stuck in Union Station overnight. That's scary. The hot dogs look yummy, but whatever.
That was somebody from New York that said that there's that many hot dogs in Chicago.
But then I have fond memories of hanging out with my Black friends, and one of them, I used to go to her house all the time on the weekends and spend summers there. We used to sit on the weekends and watch this show called The Awakening. And I just talked to her about this a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And that depicted more of it was kind of like an after-school special for Black teenagers.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it was huge in the Black community and in urban settings. It was really, they sent a lot of good messages.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a drug dealer, stay away from that person. But
Yeah.
they didn't say it like,
run screaming and call the nearest police
it was
officer.
more like a Degrassi kind of vibe. Feel me? So
Yeah.
like it was, and I was introduced to that show as I think it was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And it was the shit. Like, it slapped. And we used to watch it with like, oh, there's a new episode of The Awakening on. And we used to get, excited about it. And they talked about a lot of valid shit when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
In an urban setting.
Yeah. Because it was actually the people who knew what they were talking about. Like, that is the difference between, like, let's make this nationally televised thing for any kid in anywhere. What's the best way to scare them? Ooh, drug dealers are gonna try to jump, but
drug dealers are in every corner. That's what white homes were watching.
Right.
You go to a Black home and the teenagers were watching The Awakening or Living Single or Martin, and I got both sides of that. And I was like, I was able to make up the decision on my own.
Right.
I was like later in teenage years.
I
would say 16, 17. And, God bless that ability to have both sides.
Right.
And it just hit me just like right now in real time. Like, I was like, oh shit. I actually got the ability, like I was raised under the sheltered, whitewashed vision of what society is.
Yeah.
Be scared. And then it's not that scary. This is what really happens.
Right. It's simultaneously a lot scarier than you think, but they're not as focused on you as you think. Like remember growing up, there was like, oh, they're gonna, if you don't, somebody's not gonna have their headlights on, and maybe that's based in something that happened. So for those of you who don't know, because we're out here talking our shorthand, it would be like, oh, if it was like a gang initiation thing, like an urban legend, whatever. If somebody's driving without their lights on and you flash to like, and I think sometimes it was a serial killer too. So it probably was, and then it was like, then that they'll target you. And it's like, yeah, I remember pretty young, because I feel like by like 7th grade, I had like actual knowledge of gangs and not just. And by the time I had gotten to college, like I understood way more that it was like it's a systemic thing, and it's sometimes not even, it's the only choice, like, you know. So we learned, I feel like, pretty quickly the fallacies of it, like, you know, like when kids would be like, oh no, not gangs. I'm like, there are gangs around you, like, you just don't know, because they're not out here, like,
They're not seeking you out.
yeah,
They're just doing their own thing.
like, they're not, you're wearing blue, that's enough for me, like they portrayed it, right? Like, don't wear, oh my gosh, okay, so where I used to teach, they had this ritual where kids could like decorate for each other's birthdays. So they could even put like, they could decorate lockers and put like signs up around the school. It was actually really chaotic, but whatever. But cute. You know, God bless for the kids that were popular enough to experience it. And we had like a police officer came in to give us like ways to spot if something is a gang related thing or not. Which was like actually kind of helpful. Like it wasn't like, if you see a child wearing a bandana, gang.
Automatically.
It was more like these are actually what gang signs look like. Like, these are some symbols, and like, yes, these are the colors, but okay. So when I tell you that the school librarian, who is probably a lot of what you would expect from a school, I mean, pearls, cardigans, we're walking in the hall, and some kid had put up a bunch of birthday signs. I mean, and we're talking, picture like some kind of pink and purple clip art crown, and like, "Haps birthday, Mads," in like Comic Sans. She goes over and tears it down, and I'm like, "What? Why did you?" She goes, "That crown had 5 points." And I'm like, ma'am, I don't think Mads, like, in this instance, stereotyping is okay. I do not think that the Latin kings are trying to subliminally communicate with the children of suburbia through Comic Sans.
There's not a gang out there that is going to seek out that poster in a middle school and be like, that's bullshit. They're misrepresenting us.
Right.
Let's get, no, that's not on their agenda.
Here's what
Any gang, that is not what their whole motivator is.
So wait, I want to go back to the whole, like, really, so you basically feel like Awakening did not lie to you.
No,
and the other,
well, it was spoofy, but it definitely was a realistic look.
Well, it didn't. Yeah, there's nothing that you were like completely misled by.
Correct.
It. Yeah, I mean, you know,
messaging.
Right. Like, it wasn't Saved by the Bell where they're pulling out these phones and all this stuff, which I guess they didn't like. I just, so you would say essentially like Awakening was a show that was focused on like giving the truth, and then the like after school specials, the like whitewashed ones, were not, right? Like, those were the ones that were lying to us. So think about this. Okay. So think about this. The one that was like whitewashed or whatever, it was like, everyone's out to get the children. So it was like, we're going to other this entity, whatever it is, whether it's drug dealers, whether it's gangs, like, they are other, and they are. So it's all coming for, like, it's all happening to us. Yes. Right. And then the populations who are actually marginalized are like, there's no time for, nobody's a victim. Like, here's really what's happening, because we know what's actually going on, and we're going to keep you safe in a real way.
These were differently aligned. Like,
right.
We're surviving, we're eating, we're going to school, and we're
right.
going to work. Like,
yeah.
we need
right.
to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So on the one well, I guess it's obvious, number one, that it was like a very much a white agenda, and it wasn't like kids of color weren't getting exposed to that shit, which is fucked up, because they knew enough to be like, I mean, we who are not from, you know, we just didn't have a lot of money and didn't live in great neighborhoods. Even for us, we're not people of color, but we knew pretty early on, like, no, what?
Yeah.
But we didn't have to be conflated with that other. Whereas, like, there are people that move through the world, like, this is literally fucking me over right now. This, like, bullshit representation that you're doing of, like, pretending like a black guy that looks like my dad in a polo is, like, at the Little League game being like, "Hey, kids." You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna go that far, first of all, make him white. No, we
Make
can't,
the bad guy white.
because you got a other, right?
Right.
Because you got a other, right? So that's, I think, and then that digs in right to the whole bigger picture of when we talk about this, like, shit that where it lied to us with stuff like that, because it I'm 42 years old. I'm just thinking now about, like, how much that, like, just, like, let's make it a problem. It's not a problem. Chicago doesn't have a high crime rate because of Chicago. It is because of these neighborhoods and because of the, like, black on black crime. No, it is because being black is a crime. They've been priming the pump forever to be like, it is this person's goal not to just make up money, but it is drugs.
It's
Any
a
way you
sales
can.
model.
Yeah, it's a sales
I'm
model.
not gonna sell it to kids because they don't have money. I'm gonna sell it to people that actually
Right.
have jobs.
Like, I'm gonna get this 6-year-old hooked on crank because of his trust fund.
Right.
Like, what? And even if he does,
And I don't know. In some neighborhoods, drug dealers were more of, this is going to sound weird, but sentinels for neighborhoods. Like
say
they
more.
were letters and
Yeah.
like
Well, and
lookouts, like
that's some of the role gangs play in neighborhoods too. Like, it's not this, like,
it's not clear cut black and white.
but it's also, yes, it's not clear cut black and white, and it's also not this chaotic mess that it's just portrayed as. Yeah, like, we're out just looking for anybody. No, you know who's doing that? Serial killers. What's the demographic on that? The call is coming from inside the house. Okay, so in preparation for this episode, I had a couple of listener call-ins. I thought that would be fun instead of a game, and then we can react to them. So we're gonna listen to them and in real time, and we will just have an opinion.
We will.
All right. This first one is from Megan T in Omaha.
When I was a kid, I really thought there would be a lot more spontaneous combustion. If Unsolved Mysteries taught me anything, is that was a clear way that you could and seriously might die as a grown-up person. Just sitting in an armchair, nothing else going on. Maybe there's a cigarette, maybe not, but all of a sudden, poof, you just blow up. And that's what it is, spontaneous combustion. None of it. Never heard of it now. Not at all.
The animated picture that drew in my head, I wish you all could see. It's just poof, gone. You're in a chair.
Gone.
You're watching TV. You got your little Salisbury steak TV dinner.
Oh, God
and
bless.
You are in flames. I mean, real talk though.
I absolutely thought, well, Firestarter, kept waiting for that to turn out too. Staring at a flame, like,
thesis.
Oh, when?
Yes, and I just, I'm 44, and I'm like,
I try every day.
Move this with my mind.
You know what? I'm 10,000 hours. Eventually, I'll be able to move something with my mind.
Like finish line where like I've reached the expert level of practicing. When will this cut?
Yeah. Capitalism tells me if I just work hard enough, there are no other mitigating factors. I should be able to be successful.
Bootstraps have not been pulled up firmly enough to where you're moving that cup.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Drew Barrymore. Look at how young she was, and she was out here setting fires with her eyes. You're 42. You've been working at it every day. There must be something wrong with you, not the system, if you can't move shit.
Her hair and saying back off, I would have been like, something's going to start on fire.
God, I love back off.
Back off.
Speaking of Firestarter, we had comments too, and one was, this is perfect. how I thought I was going to have to stop, drop, and roll or facilitate people stop, dropping, and rolling a lot, probably because they were about to spontaneously.
So that message.
I think that messaging also helped because it's like that was like a big thing. The kids don't. That is not what the kids learn now.
And the firefighters don't come to class and say stop, drop.
I don't know. I'm not going to spontaneously combust. So I don't.
From somebody who actually did set herself on fire at a young age,
I can't believe
I still did not stop, drop, and roll. I fanned those flames.
No, please let me tell it.
Go ahead.
You guys, this is a real moment of vulnerability. Like real time, she's sharing something that. So you gotta send her some love about how everybody burns sometimes.
Okay,
This is. Picture it, Chicago, Illinois, 1992, Christmas dinner. Our heroine Lauren has just received a coveted baby doll shirt for Christmas.
I had to open a present early, and that was it. I had negotiated with the parental units. They had allowed me to open that present, and they had allowed me to be able to wear it.
Can you paint a picture?
Could you paint a picture for us of this? Because you were delighted. You belonged on TGIF television with that.
Of capri leggings.
Mm-hmm.
The baby doll was made out of rayon, polyester, something very flammable, but very comfortable to the skin. It was a brown beige plaid.
It was
dress.
Yes, but then the top was.
Yes, but then the top was.
Yeah, I was like.
Yes, I remember. I think even a kid being like, black and brown feels grown up to me.
So you show up
in this,
and it was. I just want to go.
I just want to go on record. It was a nice top.
So
we're about to eat, and this is a grandparent's home, so there's like baskets of hanging baskets everywhere. And Lauren is asked to get a basket for the bun. Turns around holding the basket, God bless you. And there's a flame at the seam of the baby doll, and the flame is beginning to lick up towards her little training bra clad chest. And she freaks out, as one would do, because she didn't stop, drop, and roll. Yeah. But she did start fanning it out of what was going through your mind?
Was a bug that I was trying to get it off of me.
God.
That was what my brain was. Panic mode, survival. Don't touch the fire. You'll burn yourself, and then you'll have to bitch about being hurt your hands.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking fix it. Jesus fix it.
Yeah.
Jesus fix it.
Yeah.
So stop, drop, and roll definitely didn't work. But your brain just went to like, what is the last thing where I had something gross on me I wanted off? And your brain was like, bug, let's try that.
Yeah, it didn't.
No.
So
it didn't. So it was licking up. So then finally, somebody grabbed a hand towel, and just beat her with it, well, not within an inch of her life, because it could have been worse. But just really beat. I think it was out for a while.
Somebody was taking licks.
And then Lauren's beautiful shirt. No, it looked like when you were a kid and you tried to make your project look old-timey. And so you tried to burn just the edges of the paper, but you went too far. And you were just like, oh, no.
There was no there's no patchwork. There's not a necklace or a scarf that would cover it.
No.
We're talking softball size hole in the middle of the baby doll.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't get to the lycra part. It almost did.
Yeah.
I could feel the heat of the flames.
Yeah.
But the dress was ruined.
It was over for you.
It was over. No, it was curtained, man. Damn.
I mean, no.
Dude, if that would have been conditioned more in my brain, maybe. But the fact that
But where would you listen?
The kitchen was not big.
Yeah.
But your kitchen was little.
I wasn't gonna besmirch.
I wasn't going to besmirch my grandmother. I was going to besmirch you. With all due, you would have stopped. You would have dropped. Where you would have sustained a head injury.
And
then they'd be like, blood and burnt up shirt. We're never giving you new clothes again. Oh, yeah. And that is how we grew up in 1992 in Chicago, Illinois. And also, the adult that had asked her to help was blamed. We shouldn't ask Lauren to do anything. Like, that's on you.
Asked Lauren.
You
to grab a basket.
Who even lit candles knowing
Lauren was going to be in this vicinity?
It was a tsunami of a child that when I walked in, destruction was in my path.
which was not
actively overcompensating, like
Yeah.
instead of things blowing up, things were being covered in bubble wrap.
Yes. Right.
yes, right. And then they just sent you out into the world and you're like, "Wait,
There is no magic in these.
there is no magic in these unicorn horns."
Why is driving so hard?
Well, so if those weren't true, fire?
Could I get set on fire for no reason?
Sometimes I look around.
We have another message.
Please.
Do you want to hear from? This is from one of our OG fans, Natalie from Las Vegas.
Natalie, hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. Hey girl, hey. I think she is a Lauren stan.
When I was little, my sister was almost 8 years older than me, and so we watched a lot of older kid teen movies. And I was pretty sure when I was in elementary and middle school that when I got to high school, I would be forced to attend a party where people definitely went to jail, threw up, or had sex by the end of the party. And I thought that was just standard issue high school party stuff.
Oh God. Check, 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 and check. Yes.
Yes, Natalie.
Yeah.
This is why Natalie is still hanging with us. Oh my God, absolutely. I was like, where are the sex parties?
Right.
Like but there was like 4 years of high school, 1 or 2 house parties.
There were
this would get too allegedly, so I'm not going to say a lot. But by like junior and senior year, we had definitely found a place to party.
Yes.
And like partying was happening, but it wasn't like the entire school is there. It's like in those videos, it was like a microcosm of the cafeteria. Like everybody's there, and it's just like the parents have gone to Europe for a month, and we're just gonna you know what I'm saying?
Would have these hangouts at. We're not that big.
Yeah.
You could fit 6
I went to high school in the suburbs, so my
those bigger houses.
I had
no, absolutely not. I lived in a broke down 2-flat with a slumlord. Like, no, we found like we were on the border. We're like, "Ooh, please let us into your school from the pastures of away." I don't know what the fuck that was.
We're so fucking keeping it.
felt good.
Anyway, but I was affluent adjacent.
It's enough to
Yes.
the club where you could still get in.
Yes. Yes. I was good
friends with a the daughter of a local legend who has, I will not say the name, but allegedly has a very perfect and wonderful Mexican restaurant on the north side that is 24 hours of fun. And they even have like so this is a deep cut if people know Chicago. They have an opposing
taqueria.
Taqueria, and there's like a little bit of a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's an institution. But anyway, like she was bawling. But
Yes.
So there I experienced some of, yes, but nobody was like streaking.
Nobody was like
Toilet papering and trashing. Like there was a place where we would go, but it was a house and it could be seen by adults. We were making mischief and doing what we were doing.
5 a.m. came around.
5 a.m. came around and it was like, okay, chop chop, anybody still here, grab a mop. I can't even imagine now. Like I smell wine and I'm like, I'm already hungover. I was like, had no sleep, had probably had half a bottle of peach schnapps on my own. And we were on our hands and knees making this spick and span for this person that might come in and know if somebody had fucked with her house.
Of the parental unit.
Correct. So we knew.
You know when they say like people come together in a crisis, like we were football players, we were theater nerds, we were jocks, we were weirdos. But on that day, on our hands and knees in the basement of a house in the suburb of Illinois, we were one. Because we had one goal, one purpose: to be able to party in this house again next week.
Had to stay.
It had to stay.
As our
it's interesting because when we were in college and we would go to, you went to it's an arts college for our,
and so you,
which these were like my dream, but like we sort of thought we were going to these like artsy fartsy parties, and we get there and we're like, wait, this is just a kegger, but with people here who actually can purchase the alcohol.
It's not like
It's not like the SoCo that my very nice older relative like slipped me.
Alcohol.
yeah, there's no pucker.
Yeah, there's no pucker at this, or maybe there is, but somebody brought that.
So is that
But the difference is they were theater kids. So these theater kids it was a theme. We were wearing costumes. So for me as an also theater kid, I was like, this is everything. Because this is like that, like what Nat was talking about, like the like
there was sex happening.
Oh, how about we went to one?
How about we went to one and okay, this is where I was clearly lied to a lot about drugs in these programs, because this guy's chatting me up, whatever. And at one point, his nose starts bleeding, and this man says to me, "Oh shit, sorry, I have really bad allergies."
Now, what would I say now?
No, what would I say now? Uh-huh, yeah, sure.
What would I say?
What would I say? Say then? I have a Tylenol allergy in my purse. Do you want it? I meant it. I just
And we were nurturers.
Well, and also it just goes
to show, man, I was not getting like chased down by all the weird drug dealers at the Little League.
Something for that.
Right.
Let me give you my allergy meds, or I have a purse pack of tissue.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, like just it was not in my
it was not in my universe. So yeah, so that was eye-opening. So then that was when the parties were getting a little.
The rose-colored glasses came off in college for me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
All those after-school specials.
You were like, this feels like that, but it's definitely not that.
No, it's fun. Slapping. The parties were lit, but it wasn't as what's a good word? It wasn't as like there were areas of a house party where you had the potheads, you had the the more the cool theater guys, and then you had like the different cliques. But if you were like I could always tell. Like I was kind of a bouncer. I bounced around and I was like, but I could tell. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to hang around these people. They're obviously doing harder drugs than marijuana. Let me exit.
Allegedly. You you were like a social butterfly. Okay, because when you said you were a bouncer, I was like, oh, did you collect the money at the door? Because there were parties where we were like, okay, we're charging ahead because you guys can't. But I wonder honestly if if pop culture taught us to do that. Because where did we come up with that? How did we figure out like we should charge at the door? Like what?
Yeah, like that wasn't coming.
Yeah, like that wasn't coming from something we were seeing in the streets.
So I think
I think it was almost like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like maybe it wasn't even like
let pop culture lie.
We did let pop culture lie to us. We were like, no, this is what we were promised.
Need to do to get.
And what do we need to do to get it?
And we are like, wait.
Yeah. And then we are like, wait, your parents have money. Let's start there.
We need a back.
We need a backer. We need branding. Like how do we, And then I feel like as we like for our generation, it was a lot. Okay, so our generation, I feel like then there were a lot of movies like American Pie.
A super bad.
It was super bad. Like it was the nerds being like, this is what high school is supposed to be like.
They performatively it was like we're gonna make this
yeah,
and
we're gonna get it. But it's almost like I wonder if that because that spoke to us because that's what our generation did. Like we're like, oh, meatballs, like Porky's, whatever is like teaching us that we're having like Animal House.
What it'll be like when I'm older.
So this is what it'll be like when I'm older. Cool. Where's it? Like, hand me my toga.
But like, jokes on you. Maybe there weren't people in togas. Like we
$5
were
for your cup and your toga.
Yeah, Belushi taught us to put on.
Yeah, Belushi taught us to put on the togas where we thought Belushi I don't know, Belushi probably wore a toga, but yeah, like what a weird cycle. Like you don't even know where you start and where pop culture stops.
Ooh. Damn. That might have like little atoms in my brain exploding.
Okay, dear listeners, we're going to leave you with this question. Where do you stop and pop culture starts? Ask yourself that.
I'm processing.
She might spontaneously
She might spontaneously combust.